You've seen them, you've smelled them, you hopefully bought them for your girlfriend last Valentine's Day. That's right, flowers. Flowers are one of nature's most beautiful creations. And even though we stop to pick them all the time, it's not often we stop to actually understand where they came from and how they work. Flowering plants, or angiosperms, have been admired for millions of years before we even existed. The oldest angiosperm fossil was discovered in what is now northeast China and dates back to 125 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period. It's called the Archifructus leoninus. You heard me. Once this angiosperm was prominent on the earth, more flowering plants were seen, and as they evolved, so did pollinators. Now, pollinators are essential to the success of flowering plants, and they developed partially because of them. This is because pollinators rely on plants' pollen to survive. To understand this a little better, let's talk about the purpose of flowers. We have our own uses for flowers, like symbolizing romance and life, and while their functional purpose may seem at first boring and tedious, it's actually pretty much the same. Their purpose is simple: reproduction. The details of how flowers achieve this purpose are in their anatomy, just like with any other living thing. After all, the common saying is the birds and the bees. Well, the bees are what we're talking about today. A flower consists of several primary parts. The most important for our purposes here today are the ovary and the stamen. The stamen contains pollen that is carried by bees and other pollinating insects to the ovary of another flower. This process allows flowers to create seeds and reproduce. Other common flower parts are the petals, which are brightly colored to attract pollinators. The style and stigma are how pollen is dropped in to get down to the ovary. The stamen consists of two parts, the anther and the filament. The anther contains the pollen, and the filament connects the anther to the rest of the flower. At the base of the flower is the receptacle, which attaches all the parts together and connects them with my favorite part, the peduncle, or stalk. Flowers are the way that plants create seeds. Oftentimes, seeds are contained in fruit, which are intentionally attractive for animals to eat in order to spread those seeds. That's how plants reproduce. If you think about it, peacocks and other animals are brightly colored in order to attract a mate, and a flower is kind of like the plant equivalent of that. It doesn't have to impress plants, but it does have to catch the attention of pollinators in order for that process to succeed. Flowers are a treasure older than humans. We love to look at them and smell them, but we don't often realize how much goes on in such a little delicate thing. Without flowers, the world would be far less colorful, and we wouldn't have nearly as many critters running around either.